Now we're going to work up to mixing two earlier concepts, dictionaries and string formatting. Let's do this slowly. First of all, if you look back from the previous section, we had this code that would print out counting first few Spanish numbers and the few Spanish colors. Here is another syntax down here. Notice the braces. This is going to be a format string. And we've used format strings where substitutions happen in braces. But now, rather than having nothing in here or a number, we've got the words 1, 2, and 3. So again, as we talked about before with format strings, we can use this format string, and the strings have a method called format after a dot, as we discussed before when we discussed format strings. And here is a different way of putting the parameters. We have these keyword parameters where the keywords 1 equals, as an example, followed by a value, and similarly for 2 and 3. When we print the resulting string, gives us exactly the same thing as up here in Spanish 2a. The idea here is that these are going to be names that we're going to substitute for, and here the parameters are giving us the definitions of each of the names 1, 2, and 3. And the results here are substituted. So this isn't positional, actually, although I have them in order. These could have been shuffled in any order, or these could have been different orders, and it still would have worked. Or I guess we could have shuffled these in any order. So again, we're using the object-oriented notation, where the object, in this case, is the format string. Then the functions that operate specially on particular kinds of objects are methods. We have the name of that method. And then the parameters, in this case, a bunch of keyword parameters. Now, there's another way to do this. Note, we're saying here basically associate with 1, the string uno, associate with 2, dos, associate with 3, tres. If you think about it, that's exactly what our Spanish dictionary did. And in fact, instead of writing out individual definitions essentially like this, we can refer to the dictionary, but there's special notation. Here we are. A shorter way to refer to this would be just format with star star and then dictionary, which in this case we called dictionary. The star star is important because in the usual format this would just be a variable to substitute in. We don't want the dictionary as one variable. We want the dictionary as a whole collection of definitions. And the star star says, oh, this is a dictionary. Use it to look up all of the keys and values or the definitions. So that's the syntax. So here is the whole substitute program. First, we create the dictionary. This is going to be a Spanish dictionary that we talked about before. And then here is our first format string for the numbers, where we're saying substitute in for 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to get the resulting string, which I call the one with substitutions, where we substitute in from the dictionary, and we can print it. Then I'm using a shorter terminology here for the colors. I'm just saying directly, rather than introducing a new name like with substitutions, I'm saying here's the format string. Use the format method. Okay, and we're going to substitute in for red, blue, and green from dictionary and print the result. So rather than these 3 lines, I avoid 2 extra variable definitions and do it all at once. But it's the same result. And again, it's the same result. This identifies the ideas that you're trying to substitute. This is a very handy notation. And we'll see dictionaries come in lots of places. So again, the general format here is that we're going to need a format string with its braces and words or identifiers inside of it. And then we're using the format method. And then in this particular case, we must have the star star before a single parameter here that must refer to a dictionary. Now that you know how to embed dictionary keys into a format string, you can try this exercise at the end of the section to come up with a better variation on the Mad Lib format string. You have to also change the add pick calls to go with your new format string.